Hello, this is Mr. Chris. Today, I would like to ask the question, am I dumb to invest in YieldMax? Because I earned $22,500 of dividends this past 2 weeks, and that for the 6 months that I held YieldMax funds in my portfolio, I have a total return of about $95,000. I would say no, it is not dumb to invest in YieldMax. But before we start, a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational, fun, and entertainment purposes only. Please conduct your own due diligence and research before investing. Here we go. People who invest in YieldMax are not dumb. In fact, in my opinion, these individuals are in a cutting edge of generating income passively. But having said that, if you are currently invested or want to invest in YieldMax, you need to do your proper research. You need to fully understand why YieldMax is a good investment to generate retirement income. The people who are saying that investing in YieldMax is a dumb idea, in my opinion, just my opinion, does not understand the difference between a typical growth stock with meager dividend and funds like YieldMax. They are so afraid of the concept of net asset value erosion that they forget to really appreciate the reasons how YieldMax funds generate income. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how a growth fund generates income and compare it to a YieldMax fund. A growth fund's income depends mainly on the growth of the underlying stocks. The managers of these growth funds have to either sell stocks and reduce their cash account in order to distribute dividends. In my In my opinion, this is one of the main reasons why growth funds may not provide dividends during bear market conditions or if there's any issue with the underlying stock. They have to sell the underlying stock in order to distribute a dividend. A YieldMax fund generates income, and the way they generate it does not depend on the growth of the underlying stock, because it generates income by trading options on the underlying stock. The main concern regarding investing in a YieldMax fund is net asset value erosion. Every time a dividend is distributed, the net asset value of the fund goes down. And this is true for all funds, both growth stock funds and YieldMax. But what makes the net asset value to go down? Distributing dividend reduces the cash account of the fund, therefore decreasing the total asset value of the company. Number 2, increasing number of investors or shares outstanding reduces the net asset value per share. And number 3, if the price of the underlying stock goes down, this will also reduce the fund's net asset value. The income generated from YieldMax can still be substantial even with a reduced net asset value. Again, the reason is that this type of funds generates income by trading options on the underlying stock and not with the growth or increase in price of the underlying stock. For example, consider NVIDIA. Its price dropped from about $26 per share to about $23.50 per share. So the net asset value per share for NVIDIA had dropped from $26 to $23.50. And yet, the funds still distribute about $1.30 per share this week. Again, no, it is not dumb to invest in YieldMax. But with any other investment, you need to know why you are investing with YieldMax. Here are 3 things to consider or understand when investing in YieldMax funds. Number 1, note that the dividend distributed by YieldMax may or may not include a return of capital. But in our case, for those who invest in YieldMax, assume that the dividend distributed by YieldMax is a return of your capital until you reach 100% payback. This is the main reason why I am so focused in return of capital and payback period. The earlier you can get 100% of your capital, the faster is your payback period, the better performance you'll have with your YieldMax funds. I just made an exchange and reinvestment last week that I hope will reduce my payback period and increase my total monthly dividend to at least $32,000 a month. Based on the $22,500 dividend that I received this past 2 weeks, I think I will achieve and may exceed this target dividend this month. And number 2, do not put all of your investment money into YieldMax. Diversify your investment. In my case, I have divided my investment account into 3 categories, namely cash and money market fund, cash and stocks to use for trading the rule strategy, and the account for all of my YieldMax funds. Note that I trade the no-loss method of the rule strategy with about $300,000 reserved cash when I started. Currently, I own about $160,000 based on cost $160,000 worth of stocks, and I earned already about $89,000 based on my current setup. I may get to 100 grand of earned premium trading the wheel strategy this year. Now that is how I accumulate additional cash for my investment account. Because number three, something that you need to consider is that number three, you need to accumulate cash to prepare yourself for future bear market. There is a bear market in the future, and you need cash to be able to buy low or keep your desired income during the bear market period. For myself, like I said, I am accumulating cash from my earned premium trading the wheel strategy and the dividend I earned from my YieldMax fund. I do not reinvest all of my dividend from YieldMax. Hence, when I receive a dividend, I conduct an analysis of my fund as to which funds needs to be in my portfolio and how much to reinvest in a specific fund to improve my payback period. There you have it. Now you know the reason why it is not dumb to invest in YieldMax. I don't just dive into investing in YieldMax. I researched it, did my due diligence, and I set up my investment fund so that I am prepared for a bear market. If you like this video or any video in my channel, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any question, please write a comment and I will answer them the best I can. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.